Up here, I think they used to call this Tank Hill Road, but I think it's called Riz Street now. Now that blue house here, I think this is the house that the city busted the meth lab in a while back. Now somewhere here is the city limit sign. Just talking to a friend of mine on the phone just now, and I'm a little confused because I know the city limits is somewhere here. I know where that orange pickup truck is in that one house. I know up on the hill they have chickens and goats. They got a couple big dogs. I know they got chickens and goats up there. So obviously the city limits sign in somewhere here. What I call the Fire Road is actually an old city street originally, I think. So somewhere in here the city limits ends. And that little road I think is Old Fire Road that the city keeps. I'm not sure. I do know that this house, I think it's a lot of land. I think this house might actually be for sale. I'm not gonna go in, but I'm gonna take a closer look. If it's the one the meth lab is in, I don't know if I want it, because that would be too much work. I'm gonna see what the sign on the door says, but I'm not gonna go in because I don't want to get in trouble. That's the warning. West Virginia warning signs and other warnings about how this. Oh, that's the warning signs. This is the house that they busted the meth lab in. I'm definitely not going in there. I thought the city's going to demolish it. One thing for sure, whoever buys it will have to completely gut the inside, and we do it all. That's for sure. Now I'm trying to get back out here. The main reason to come up here is to point out how bad the flooding was from that storm. I'm filming the video on August 31st, 2020. I'm going to talk to whoever I need to about this place. I may actually buy this for the land. It'd be a good investment if it's for sale, but I need to check into it. Crap. Dog. There's a building back here too. That's that beagle dog, that one that likes to, I don't know who it belongs to, but it's always running around somewhere here in town. I can't get to that building. That's clearly a chicken coop right there. That's clearly a chicken coop, but I'm not going to try to get to it. I'm going to try to track down this because this is a couple acres of land, at least 2-3 acres of land. I heard the dog there and it kind of made me nervous. Old barn. Next is the old garage. I think there's a chicken coop and the remains of a barn back behind me. Huh. About face masks and respirators, I can't really do much inside that house. Oh well. I'd have to have it tested though. If I was to buy something like that, I'd have to have it tested. I know it's for sale. I don't even think the taxes have been paid on it. That was quite painful. I did not know. Well, those storm buses today until I got to take over on my ankles. Okay. Now think about it. This wasn't the best idea to go over there. That's definitely a house. I remember that because that same thing happened down here. The city police came and they raided that. The state troopers and the city police and a bunch of people came to that place was raided. Made the news, I know that. But here's the water tanks. Now one of us for sale for the land itself, because I literally walked up here from my house. I lived down over the hill. San Joaquin Little House in the Play, and decided to walk. And I'm missing one of my favorite episodes because I decided to randomly walk up here before that storm gets here. Brand new city water tank. Newer. I don't think that water tank's used anymore. It might be. I know see put in this brand new water tank here with the top, and this tank's a little bit newer. Now both of these are still being used. Right now there's like 22,000 gallons of water inside that tank. I don't see the measurements for the rest of this. Interesting. The other two tanks don't have a meters. They don't have the little measurement thing where you can see from the street. I know the other two have a thing that measures the amount of water. That, and I think that's a flat top they can walk on. I don't know if that tank's used anymore. That tank may not be, because I think the first tank closest to me, there's some issues with it, so the city had to build a new one over there, probably about 10 years ago, had to build that new one. I don't know, it's been quite 10 years, but nearly 10 years. They had to build a new one and had to shut this one down. So those two tanks right there, the brand new dark blue, actually that's more purple than blue. I don't know, we call it navy blue or purple. It's a real dark color. I know those two are still used, and the first one's not. Those two supply the water for the whole city of Mountain Hope. But it flooded here last night. Even up here on the mountain was flooding. Now that's a beautiful house. I remember when it went up for sale. I think I was in high school when it went up for sale, because I used to ride my bike up here. Well, just to ride it down. I'd ride it, get as far as I could pedaling. I think there was a few times I had to strafe an energy to make it. But a lot of times I'd get up to a certain point, turn around and ride my bike down the hill just to do it. I was so tired and wore out when I got to the top, but I thought it was so much fun to do all ever just to ride down. But you could tell where all the water was. All standing was underwater last night. All this was underwater. That's how bad the storm was. The rain was just so tense and heavy that the water was just pouring across the street here. That would have been very interesting to see. All the water coming down the mountain, going across the street, over the hillside. It's probably coming up behind houses here and everything. I mean, it's intense rain. You can see where it was. Most of that's in the middle of the night. And you can see the ditch. I probably does this a decent amount of them is not here to see it. Because when it's raining that heavy, I'm sitting in my house, and usually when it quits, I go on down the hill by the creeks and streams. I just know what's coming now is insane. If that storm does not deviate from its path, we're going to get a couple inches of rain in a short amount of time, and that whole bottom Dunwoody Creek floodplain is going to be flooded. But you can tell where the water was through here. Well, this stretch here, I don't think it's in the road as bad. But I think most of this is from last night. I know because the city has cut the grass up here in the past week or two. I don't know what that pole was. I thought it'd be interesting to walk up Tank Hill Road. I think these things are named the West Street at some point recently. Take the shortcut back down to my yard. I rarely walk up this hill. But I just thought I don't know why I was just spur of the moment I decided to walk up there. And I seen all that stuff, I turned around and went back to my house and grabbed my camera. So I probably have missed that whole episode of Little House on the Prairie. Well, about 9% of that episode. Got great views from up here, especially in the wintertime. You can see so far. Oh look, the arrow points the way home. See? It's nice of somebody to paint that arrow pointing the way home. I'm not so what, okay, really I'm not so what the arrows are for. It's just weird that it's, I know it's just a coincidence, it's literally right here. Gotta watch, I want to get cut from that thorns. Let's come here with my lopping shears and machete so I can keep this clear. And next door neighbor's house, there's that pole. Whatever. The dog is probably wondering what I'm doing. I keep walking up and down here. I come up, I run down, I come back up, I run back down. Buddha is, if he's noticing, he's going to be very discombobulated. I know, my cat's a little discombobulated. I don't think he's paying attention to me. Hi Tom Tom, bye Tom Tom. I'm now officially back home. There we go. Now that won't fly away.